Welcome back. We are continuing to dive into Jonas and the perfect community that he is living in. But, as we're about to find out, even in a supposedly perfect world, secrets are hiding just under the surface. But before we find out what the elders have planned for Jonas, another mystery begins to emerge. It starts with one small detail that makes him different from almost everyone else in the community. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but it's our first clue that there's something unusual about Jonas, something that sets him apart in a way he doesn't yet understand. Here's what we'll be exploring next. As Jonas's story unfolds, he begins to notice small cracks in what seems like a perfect society. We'll discover his unusual connection to a newborn named Gabriel, learn more about the strict rules that shape everyday life, witness something that shouldn't be possible, and uncover the truth behind a mysterious ceremony for the elderly. Each clue brings Jonas one step closer to understanding what's really going on in his community. The story really starts to pick up when Jonas's father, a nurturer who cares for newborn babies, brings an infant home who needs some extra attention. The baby's name is Gabriel, or Gabe for short. At first, it seems like a simple act of kindness. But Gabriel's arrival soon leads to the first big surprise and reveals something unusual about Jonas. Now, eye color might not seem like a big deal, but in Jonas's community, it stands out. Almost everyone has dark eyes, while Jonas has rare pale eyes. He's always known that this small difference makes him unusual. So when he notices that Gabriel has the same pale eyes, he immediately feels a special connection to the baby. It's a small detail, but it hints that Jonas and Gabriel may have more in common than anyone realizes. That small detail makes both Jonas and Gabriel unusual. Their community is built around the idea of time sameness, where everyone is expected to fit in and differences are rarely discussed. In fact, pointing out someone's differences is considered rude. So the fact that Jonas and Gabriel share the same rare eye color makes them stand out in a place where standing out is not supposed to happen. Jonas begins to feel that his eyes and now Gabriel's might mean something more than just looking different. It's as if they hint at a deeper layer beneath the calm, predictable world around him. For the first time, Jonas starts to sense that there may be things his community doesn't fully understand or talk about, mysteries waiting to be uncovered. This growing sense of being different leads us to a closer look at Jonas's world. His community is built on order and control, with rules guiding almost every part of daily life. From how people behave and express their feelings to the jobs they're assigned, everything is carefully planned. Understanding these rules helps us see why Jonas's differences matter so much. Jonas's life is guided by a long list of rules, some written down and others simply understood by everyone in the community. Things that might seem harmless, like bragging about an achievement or taking an apple home without permission, are not allowed. The goal of all these rules is to keep life orderly and predictable, making sure no one stands out too much or feels different from everyone else. Imagine reaching the age of 12 and not getting to choose what you want to do with your life. In Jonas's community, that's exactly what happens. During the ceremony of 12, the committee of elders assigns each person a job that they will train for and perform throughout their life. It's called an assignment, and unlike in our world, it's not a choice, it's a decision made for you. We get an even clearer picture of this system when Jonas's younger sister Lily says she wants to be a birth mother. Her mother's reaction is immediate and surprising. It reveals that even in a community built on sameness, some assignments are viewed more highly than others. Roles like nurturer are respected, while others carry much less status, showing that not everyone is valued in quite the same way. And that raises an important question. This system creates a world with very little conflict and almost no uncertainty. On the surface, that might sound appealing, But what is the price of such perfect order? If every major decision is made for you, how much freedom do you lose? It's a question Jonas and the reader will have to think about as the story continues. Now we come to one of the strangest moments Jonas has experienced so far. It's something he can't explain and can't stop thinking about. For the first time, he witnesses an event that doesn't seem to follow the rules of his carefully ordered and predictable world. And that makes him wonder if there's more to his community than he's been told. And it begins with something completely ordinary, a simple game of catch. But in the middle of that everyday moment, something strange happens. For just an instant, the apple seems to change in a way Jonas can't explain. The strangest part? No one else notices it. As far as he can tell, he's the only one who sees it happen. As Jonas and his friends toss the apple back and forth, something impossible happens. For a brief moment, while the apple is in the air, it seems to change. Then, just as quickly, it looks normal again. Jonas even asks Asher if he noticed anything unusual, but Asher has no idea what he's talking about. The strange change happens 4 different times, and every time Jonas is the only one who sees it. That leaves him with a question he can't answer. Why is he seeing something that no one else can? Naturally, Jonas wants to understand what he saw, so he breaks a rule and takes the apple home to examine it more closely. The community reacts immediately. A public announcement comes over the loudspeakers, reporting that a male 11 has taken food from the recreation area. They never say Jonas's name, but everyone knows who the announcement is about. It's another reminder of how closely people are watched and how quickly even a small rule violation is noticed. Now let's follow Jonas to the House of the Old, where he spends some of his volunteer hours. It's a calm and peaceful place, and the residents seem well cared for. But while he's there, Jonas discovers one of the community's biggest mysteries. Oddly enough, it's also treated as something joyful and worth celebrating, even though Jonas isn't completely sure why. While volunteering at the House of the Old, Jonas helps an elderly woman named Larissa. As they talk, she mentions a release ceremony that took place earlier that day for a man named Roberto. The way she describes it makes it sound like a happy occasion, a celebration honoring a person who has lived a long and successful life in the community. From Larissa's description, the ceremony sounds warm and joyful. Friends and family gather to share memories, celebrate the person's accomplishments, and wish them well. The entire event is presented as an honor, a special recognition of a life that has been lived successfully. To Jonas, it seems almost like a graduation, marking the start of a new journey. Larissa is certain that Roberto wasn't sad or frightened. In fact, she says he seemed excited and honored to be released. In the community's view, release at the end of a long life is considered a reward, a special privilege given to someone who has contributed to the community and reached old age. But Jonas asks a simple question that no one else seems to ask. Where do people actually go when they're released? Larissa doesn't have an answer. She simply explains that no one really knows. The only people who might know are the committee of elders. For Jonas, that response is unsettling. How can something so important happen so often when almost nobody understands what it really means? And that's all anyone seems to know. After the ceremony, the person says goodbye, walks through a door in the releasing room, and is never seen again. No one talks about where they go or what happens next. The community simply accepts it as a happy ending. But for Jonas, the mystery remains. How can everyone celebrate something so important when no one really knows what lies beyond that door? And that's where we'll leave Jonas for now. He's surrounded by questions he can't answer. Why do his pale eyes seem to set him apart? What really happened to the apple that changed before his eyes? And what is the truth behind release, the community's most mysterious tradition? As these questions begin to grow, Jonas is about to discover secrets that will change the way he sees his world and himself forever. Let's discover more of Jonas's question about his life in the next chapter. See you there.
If you'd like more personalized feedback, writing support, and discussion sessions, they're available with me or with our selected tutors. All the details are here.